Hello everyone, we're here with the lovely Marina, and I just took off her old color, prepped, and if you want to see how I do that process, you can watch it, the video that I did this last week, earlier in the week. Might have been yesterday. Anyway, I showed how I do all my prep and stuff. I did have a lot of requests for what nipper I'm using. So this is the one that I use. It's from Stalix. I sell it at lovenails.com because I love it so very much. So I had a lot of requests on what nippers were those. So I thought I would let you know. All right, so I'm going to be doing a couple things today. I'm going to be using Trinity, the cover Trinity. Do you know what pink you want? I have a couple. You want the pinky, pinky, pink?
Pinky, pinky, pink.
Pinky, pinky, pink. So the pinky, pinky, pink is the SC1 as opposed to like a rosy pink, which is the SN. So we are going to do the cool pink. The SN means neutral pink, obviously. So we're going to use the pinky, pink, pink for her Babyboomer. Hey, Christina is very excited. She caught a live. So what I'm going to do first is, because I'm going to be using Control Ultra White to create her white tip, this needs bonding gel, some kind of bonding gel, whether you're using it here or Ultra OptiBond. I'm actually going to go ahead and just use Trinity for my bonding gel, which is completely fine. It works so darn well that I love to use it for bonding as well. So I'm just going to cover the whole nail with this. There's also another reason for this. I want the Control Ultra White to slide. I want it to be on a slippery surface. It's going to allow for a better blend under your pink. And so, let me turn myself down. I thought it was muted. So a better blend on the pink. So I want to make sure that I have the Trinity on the whole nail. We were just talking about the crazy world we're in now. Marina said she had a friend that went to the ER, was too busy, and they checked in, and then they decided to leave because it was too busy. And then they got a letter in the mail saying that they were positive for the virus, and they hadn't even gotten tested. So it's just ridiculous. All right, so what am I doing right now? She had a little corner missing on this nail, and I'm just making her a tiny little extension on that nail, fixing that corner. Piece cake. Hey, Debbie. So lovely to see you. The wedding looked lovely. Debbie's one of my old clients who moved away to Idaho, but her kiddo just got married, which I know she was very excited about. You looked lovely. Go ahead and put that in the light, please. All right. Again, just getting it on there. You don't have to go crazy scrubbing it in or doing all kinds of stuff. I just want to get a good coverage on the whole nail. Technically, you don't even have to go all the way to the top, because when I do my Trinity Cool Pink, it's going to have bonding gel in it, and so you don't really have to. But for this, I do, just because I really like to have that slick surface for that Control Ultra White. So it's very important that if a client's coming in, then you know that this is what they want when you get started, because it isn't going to help you at all if you do a full fill on them and then they're like, oh, I'd like a Babyboomer. Then you'll have to do it with gel polish. But if you know that this is what they want, because they're very well behaved and they come in and tell you right away, good job, then you can do it this way, which I feel like is a little bit easier. Hey, Gail. Oh, thanks about the blue. It's starting to look really sad. My nails are starting to get a serious beating because there's been road tripping and camping and gardening and all kinds of stuff over the last month. So my apologies for some pretty sad nails. Go ahead and put that in, because they are starting to show their wear and tear. But I will be doing them next week before I head out for nail camp. But it's, in case you're wondering what's on mine, it's this amazing mini shreds foil blue, which looks so much prettier when it's not gotten beat up like on my nails. But I did Look Out, and then I did that foil blue. You can get that on my site. All right, let's get down to business. So this is the Control Ultra White. I'm going to grab a different brush. I like to use this oval 111 brush when I am working with white gels and building gels. So I'm going to go, Jaylene, hello. I'm going to go ahead and, oh, hold on. Oh, that's a bad jar. I think this was sitting out in the light. I'm going to switch. I have another jar. I do. Yay. Okay. Another jar. All right. So this is what it should be when you go to pick it up. And you want to brush it on and get a nice finish. And I'm going to do one nail and test it. And the reason is because if I have a hard time blending this, I'm going to switch the way that I'm doing it. But typically, I can blend just enough that once I cover this with the pink, it's going to be a nice, even looking nail.
You know, once we've used not the whitest white.
Which one?
Not the whitest one.
You don't want the whitest white?
No, we can try something else.
You want a lighter white?
Mm-hmm.
A more neutral white? Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you for telling me before I did all the nails.
And it was easier, you said.
The neutral white? Typically, it's a little bit easier to use. So I have this French white, which is really nice. So this is actually from our classic gel line, which means that there is only a little bit of this particular white gel left before it's completely gone because Akzentz is no longer making this gel.
Nice.
So it's a nice creamy white, not as bright as the ultra white. Hey, Nancy. And I'm not going to be applying it in 2 steps. Now, if you're using the Control Ultra White, the one that I just had in my hand, you would want to apply that in 2 steps to get a nice solid white because it's got so much pigment in it. This one is a lot creamier, and you can do it in 1 step. Is that a nod of approval?
It's good.
It's good. Okay. Yeah, it's a nice creamy white. It's more of like a builder white, which is really nice. So I'm just going to blend this up. There's another white in the LED line if you are using an LED gel. So if you're using LED gels and you don't have a hybrid lamp, you can't use this gel. It won't cure. But we have the Control Natural White that's not quite as bright. And you could always mix a little bit of clear in it if you want it to be a little bit more glossy, kind of like this one is. Or the Foundation White is more of this kind of a tone as well. That one's a little bit stiffer though, so I would recommend a little bit of body heat or putting it on a warmer. Just if you warm your gel, it'll make it a lot smoother and easier to use. This gel doesn't need it, but if you have a white gel that's very stiff, putting it on a heating pad or something that will make it a little bit warm will be your saving grace for sure. So just blending that up. And just because I've got enough gel on here, I don't want gravity to hit it, I'm going to go ahead and switch. How do you keep it from running into the sidewalls? This is not a super runny gel, and so it's not going to go running unless I touch the sidewalls. So it's just about control. When it comes to a runnier gel, if it's something that you know does run, then you want to flash cure between each nail. This is a UV gel, so it takes a little bit longer for it to flash cure. And you can do all your nails and then blend. I was doing one at a time on that hand, but this hand I'm going to go ahead and do all of them and then blend, which is a little bit of a time saver. But this is a very strong white gel, so she's not going to have any breaking at all. Nothing like that. It's very easy to use this white. So, how many of you out there do baby boomers and feel like with gel it's just way too hard for you? Because that seems to be pretty common, especially when it comes to doing with gel polish. It can be pretty tough. There's a couple of gel polishes that make it a bit easier. Koi is similar to this white where it's kind of semi-translucent. And it works very well that way. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wipe this and just blend, just to get this blended up a little bit. Nancy says, too bad it's gone. Yeah, this is, it's difficult when a company decides that they're going to get rid of a certain line, especially when it's all their UV line like this. Because while they do have some great LED gels like Trinity and Control Ultra White works really nicely, they're not the same. I really still prefer to do extensions out of natural, and that is important. I feel like the AC is not on right now. It's getting hot. It's all these lights. I turn on extra lights for doing this. There's a little bit, it's like almost dry gel cleanser on this. Gail asked if there's anything on my pad that I'm wiping my brush on. I actually like to have a little bit more on there. Now it's a little bit more wet. It's better to have more liquid on there. It helps blend things than having less. There's a piece of lint. So I do like to have a pad that has a little bit of alcohol on it, or nail prep. Just touch and dab, touch and dab. Doesn't have to be perfect. Pink is going to go right over this, so as long as there's no stark lines, that'll be good. Which Trinity is my fave for Baby Boomer? Honestly, it's completely up to the client. I don't do a ton of this, which is why I decided to jump on video, because I figured since I was doing a Baby Boomer that it might be a good one for you guys to see if you haven't seen how I'm doing it lately. So if I'm doing it with the Trinity Shades, it really just depends on the client. I would say most clients are either really into the neutral, like the blush look, so they'll go with the warm, or they really like the pinky pink, which is what we're doing today with the cool pink. So I just show them to my clients and let them choose, because it's definitely a preference thing. It's a bubble. Okay, I'm going to put that in. There is a sampler pack of the 3 little tiny mini jars, which is great. I would get the sampler pack for sure if you don't know which one to get, because they're all so different. I'll show you real quick. These are the 3 Trinity colors. Where's my warm? Is it out? It's still out. I used it earlier. So these are the 3 Trinity colors. So you definitely have completely different shades, and so I recommend getting the sample pack if you don't want to get the pro pack with all the large size jars. Definitely at least get the sample pack. All right, so I'm going to switch to my usual fill brush, and And I'm going to treat this just like any other fill, which means I'm going to be flash curing after each nail. I'm going to bubble this around the cuticle, or pillow it around the cuticle, I guess is the better terminology. And as I float it down, I'm just going to allow just ever so slightly the smallest amount to go over the free edge. And if there's a little bit for shaping that you need in the middle, grab a tiny smidge more and you can fix it. All right, go ahead, 2 seconds. 1, 2. Okay. And then you go to the next nail. And pillow it around the cuticle. You want to get as close as you can because you're not going to be doing a polish. Normally, I always tell people leave a good weak gap so your polish can fall into that spot. But there isn't going to be polish. This is it. So if you have a lot like I just did, just brush off the excess by pushing your brush straight down. You can remove any extra and keep your white white. Does that look good? Go ahead and put that in. Okay, 2 second flash cure is all they need. And then pillow, 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 pillow. And depending on how you want your arch to be, if you want to add a little bit more, because if they like an arch as opposed to a flatter nail, you can do that. Once you have it, go in. Hannah says I could watch this all day. You're so funny. You could do nails all day and then you will watch it. And pillow. Hopefully there's some of my followers out there. I've got some on YouTube that are super sweet, leave me such great comments, and hopefully this will help some of them with what they're doing. Once you cover the nail, if you need more, you can just drizzle it like I just did. It's all becomes second nature after you do it for a while. I do it before I say it because I don't even know I'm going to do it. Okay. And pillow it. And with Trinity on the thumb, since I'm adding a bit more to give her a little bit more shape in her nail, I'm going to have her put her thumb up in the light when she goes in. So you want to grab the bottom of the light so the thumb is facing the top of the lamp. Just so gravity doesn't pull it sideways, because as all things, gravity is your enemy. Isn't that what they tell you from a young age? Aw, Gail, that's so nice. Gail says it's so nice to have me doing lives again. Am I in camera? Yeah. I try now and then to get on here and, you know, do nails and chat. Can't do it all day. People be bored out of their mind. This is a bit of a change for her because she typically does silver twinkle on a regular French. And one day, if I haven't shown you guys that, one day I'll do that. But it's normally a regular French with a coat of silver twinkle. Oh my gosh, Christina, New York is on your list of places we can't go. What do you mean you can't go? It means that you have to come back and you'd have to get a test. Basically, in a lot of places right now, you can go, but when you come back, they want you to self-quarantine, or you can go get a test, be ruled that you are fine, and then you don't have to self-quarantine. So it's still a free world, and luckily, there's a lot of places in the world that are like that now. People are, you know, concerned that America has such a bad situation, but a lot of states are fine as long as you, or a lot of countries, in fact, are actually okay if you get a test within so many days of going to their country. So you can do that. Ah, Carrie says, you always make everything look so easy. I dread baby boomers, but I want to go play now. You should go play. It's fun. It really helps to have just the right gels, honestly. It makes a big difference. The reason I don't mind doing this as much is because sometimes I feel like, okay, I don't need a finish file, which I'll decide after I'm done with this if I'm going to finish file these or not. Sometimes they're a little bit thick on the free edge for me, but we'll see. I'll take a stern eye at them and decide. But my goal is to get them perfectly smooth so that it's not necessary. So I'm checking the line of light. Ah, Lisa. Lisa says I'm so fast. I'd have to quarantine for 14 days. My day job, I'd have to stay home. I believe in most states, if you go and get a test, you eliminate your quarantine requirement. We have other people coming from New York too, so this isn't unusual because it's with camp being so close. We had a lot of questions about that, and I told people, I'm like, just check and see. You probably can completely eliminate your quarantine just by getting a test when you get home. And check in your area because some testing sites are super fast. We have one near here that you can get your results in less than half an hour, and the other one's 24 hours. So you can find somewhere to get a test and get results, and then you can enjoy. So I'm not saying you have to go. I'm just saying there are ways around all of these mandatory quarantine things that are out there. And the main thing is just testing. They just want to make sure people are, if they are going somewhere, that they're getting tested and fine when they come back. But be careful. You could walk into a hospital and they'll call you and say you have a positive test without even having a test. Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, it's all just ridiculous. But I won't get into that. All right. There we go. So that is the Trinity Shades SC1. Goes on really, really nice. They go in for a 2-second flash cure, and then there's not any heat. So that is what is super helpful. So I'm going to pop this off. I'm going to take off the tacky on these. There's a slight tacky layer. You can see my fingerprint. But it does cure pretty shiny all by itself because that is what it was designed to do. But see, this one did not cure shiny. So I'm going to have to finish file all these real quick, just a little bit, not to do a lot, just because I'm very finicky. Very finicky. So I don't finish file often, but when it comes to pink and whites with hard gels, I have to. Just a little bit, because I want the free edge to be nice and thin. And I'm using the 180 side of my file and just very lightly. I'm really barely touching the nail just because I want to make sure my shape is spot on. And then I'll hit them with gloss. Anyway, but you guys don't need to see all the filing part. It's nothing exciting. So I won't make you sit here and watch it unless someone really is desiring to see me finish file a nail. Always look down the barrel so you can see where it's thin and where it's thick so that you're getting a nice even file. And don't lift up your file. The more you bounce, the more divots you're going to have in your nail. You want to keep it smooth onto the nail as much as possible and feel it to feel if there's any divots. All right. I'm going to sign off so y'all don't have to watch me file. I can't even tell. Oh, there's 16 of you all still watching. Do you want to watch me keep filing?
They want.
Maybe I'll do one hand. Huh?
They want.
They want. I'm just going pretty lightly. I don't want to be going too much into this. But it's just, when I do pink and whites that aren't with gel polish, I typically end up having to finish file. But if I had a finish file every day, all day, I don't think I could handle it. I'd have to quit. So I'm very glad that I don't finish file all day, every day. It's too much. Too much, too much, too much. For those of you that are watching and they are going to camp, are you excited yet? Hello, it's so fun. I've been getting messages from companies saying that they're shipping their stuff for the swag bags. T-shirts have been ordered. Books are getting ordered. I've got a bunch of T-shirts and tank tops and things that we're gonna have available, along with the beanies and things like that. Megan finish files every client. Oh my gosh, I couldn't do it. I used to do it. I did it for probably 10 years. I finish filed every single client because it was just, there wasn't the ability to apply stuff in a way that you don't have to. And now I use gels that make it so I don't have to, because it's so much work that's unnecessary if you're applying it well. There was one gel that I tried once, and it was when I was searching for gels, trying to find a gel line that I liked. So this was 18 years ago, because it was before I found Akzentz. And I spent a year with this gel. Finally got it to where, because it was a runnier gel, so it was a little bit harder for me to personally use. And I finally got it to where I could get it on perfectly smooth, and then it would lift. And I'm like, I'm so sick of this product lifting. And I contacted them, and I'm like, what's the deal? I get it on perfectly smooth, and then it still lifts. And they're like, well, are you finish filing? I'm like, no, I get it on perfectly smooth. Why would I finish file? Oh, well, you have to finish file and top coat because it's part of the system. And I'm like, screw that. So stopped using that product. And then shortly after that is when I found Akzentz, and I heard Angels sing because it was my favorite thing ever. And I didn't have to finish file so much. All right. So after that, I'm going to go ahead and just grab my Ultra Gloss. Come back with the next client. The next client is, oh, they're long coffin solid color nails. So nothing super exciting, but I'm getting hot. Is it hot? I feel like it's getting, oh, I'm working. It's because I'm finish filing, dang it. Makes me hot. So I'm just dusting, and I'm using Ultra Gloss. Ultra Gloss is really nice for French and for hairstylists in particular, because it will eliminate any chance of any staining. So no one will ever have stained nails with using Ultra Gloss. So the trick of Ultra Gloss and any top gloss is to not press too hard. If you are doing your gloss like this, where you see your bristles flaring, you are pressing way too hard. You want your bristles to never flare. You want to float over the nail with your gloss very lightly so that you get a nice smooth surface. If your bristles flare, you're pressing too hard and your gloss will not be glossy. It'll be streaky and not pretty.
So many secrets.
You're finding out all my secrets when I go live.
Yeah.
It's important. That's why I do this, to give others my secrets that I don't really realize are secrets, I guess. But gloss is important because it's the last thing that you're doing. You want to make sure it's smooth, and I do always cap the edges. Do you need to? No. Akzentz is not going to separate. I just do out of habit. So I'm just going to double check before I put in. But there we go. There is the Babyboomer, and I will long coffin shake to something different. All right, I'll think about it. What do I use to record this view? I have a phone holder, so You can get it off Amazon. All right. Thanks, guys. I will catch you later. I'm going to go ahead and let her cure this and finish the other hand and get ready for the next one coming on in. And maybe I'll go on video. We'll see. All right. Bye, guys.